name's Morgan Griggs. I am currently a senior, majoring in biology with a concentration in pre-med, and I am 2 classes away from getting my minor in chemistry. But currently I don't have like a real job. This past March, I'm a bartender at Dax of Ruston. And this past March, I moved myself from the regular schedule to just pick up shifts on my own time because I needed to have the time available to study full-time for the MCAT, which I just took this past August. I get my scores back at the end of this September. Fingers crossed, I'm super nervous. But I don't have a job, but I do have over 100 hours of clinical experience that I have logged. And those bounce back and forth between University Medical Center in New Orleans in the trauma room, Singing River Hospital in Ocean Springs. I followed a orthopedic surgeon there, and GI clinic in Gulfport, Mississippi. I followed a GI doctor there, and I followed my mom also at University Medical Center, but she's a CRNA, so at university I got to go back and forth between the trauma, like watching the trauma surgeons and do what they do, to watching my mom do anesthesia and watching like the anesthesia. She would throw me with the anesthesiologist and I would watch him and follow him around, so that was pretty cool. I did learn a lot out of that. I am very grateful for that experience. But from this course, I expect to get, like, just basic first aid so I can have the ability to help people who need it without having the anxiety of, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess up. Like, you know, like, if that makes any sense, like, not, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna mess up, but, like, make me more comfortable with doing it. And, and also, I don't know if we actually get the CPR certification in this course, but mine is currently expired, and I've been actually meaning to renew it. So if we do get certified in this course, that'll be like a plus for me taking this course. But yeah, mainly I really just want to be able to be, because I like to help people, and if somebody's in pain or somebody's hurting, I don't want to sit there and not do anything. Like, obviously I could call 911. I would call 911 if I couldn't do anything. But I want to be able to help if I could, and I would just love to be fully comfortable and confident in doing what I need to do. So an interesting experience that I've had was whenever, I have 2 actually. One of them is in a professional setting. When I was following the orthopedic surgeon in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, I watched a reverse total shoulder replacement. And my mom works there as well, PRN, so like as needed. And we were looking at it and we were like, reverse total shoulder. We're like, what does that mean? And we were sitting there and we were so confused. Like, the surgeon came in, Dr. Myers, and he's catching me up. He was so great. He's really good at teaching students and giving advice and this, that, and the other. And I got to sit in. I watched this surgery, a reverse total shoulder, where it's the result of a bad rotator cuff. Like, the rotator cuff basically isn't there anymore. So, like, he had this 3D printed sculpture figuring of the patient's actual rotator cuff and what it looked like, so he could show me. And instead of being like round and ovular, it was like all jagged, and it was real bad. So in the reverse total shoulder, because there's basically no rotator cuff anymore, they take your shoulder apart and they turn your joint, they turn your socket into a ball, and they turn the ball into a socket. That way it allows all the movement without the need of the rotator cuff, which I thought was really cool because I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know people did that. I've heard of total shoulders, and I've heard of like total knees and stuff, and I've never heard of a reverse. But then the personal interesting experience that I've had, so I actually, a couple years ago, I got hypothermia, which is really, really weird. So my roommate came in my room. My roommate at the time, she came in my room and she looked at me. She's like, Morgan, why are you blue? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Why am I blue? And so I got up and looked in the mirror. As soon as I got out of bed, like freezing, complete like shivers. Complete shivers. Looked in the mirror, sure enough, I was blue. And so I have it written down because I had it saved in my notes because I was going to urgent care the next day to, be like, hey, this is what happened to me. It's really weird. Like I don't know what's going on. So I copied it down. Around 7:15 p.m., we took my temperature, and I was 94.4 degrees. And I had a thick comforter. I was under the covers, and the AC was set on 74, which is hot for me. I typically like it to be on like 69, 70. So 74 is like hot for me. That was like 7:15. So at 8:30, I took my temperature, and I stayed under the covers after that as well. So at 8:30 p.m., I took my temperature again, and it was at 92.8. And that's when I started getting really, really scared. Really scared. So I drank hot coffee. I put on sweatpants and hoodie. I stayed under the covers. And I would get under the covers, and I would be sweating, and I would be so hot. And I would as soon as I take the covers off, freezing cold. Like I could gain body heat, but I couldn't retain it. Like I couldn't hold it. And so I had hot coffee in the covers, and I stayed covered. And then at 10 p.m., I was back up to 97. And so I was like, okay, we're getting there. Because like normal for me is like 97, 98. And we're like, okay, getting there. So like it just stayed covered. Didn't really take any extra precautions. But then at 11 p.m., I was down at 95. Which was also like still like really weird. Like I could hold it, and then it started to lose it again. And then at 12:30 a.m. was the last time I took my temperature, and it was 93.2 degrees. And it was just like I was texting my mom about it, and she was like, yeah, just standard. It was also winter, so like I couldn't go outside. Like it was also really late, so I guess I couldn't go to urgent care at that time anyways. So I was texting my mom about it, and she was just like, just stand under covers, just like do what you can. I don't know. She was like, because home's 4 hours away. Like I wasn't dying, so there's really nothing I could do about it. But when my temperatures were at their lowest at 93 and 92, it was like I was like so cold that it felt like I was burning, if that makes sense. So I went to urgent care the next day, and I told them what happened, and I showed them my notes document on my phone, and I was like, okay, this is what happened. And they're like, okay, we're going to COVID test you. And I was like, okay. So the COVID test came back negative. And they were like, yeah, I don't know why you would have done that. Like, I don't know why your temperature would have dropped that bad. And I was like, I don't know either. And my roommate at the time, she was a nursing student, and our friend was over, and he was a medic for the National Guard. So both of them come up in my room. They're like playing nurse and doctor on me, like trying to figure things out. And like the only thing we could really come to is like maybe it's a thyroid issue, because my mom has thyroid problems. She doesn't have a thyroid anymore. Actually, she got it taken out. But since then, my body temperature has been normal. It's never dropped that low again. It was just really weird, really crazy, but that's it. My name's Morgan. I am looking forward to taking this course and learning, and thank you. Y'all have a good day.